Hey guys, in this video we are going to be making granny squares suitable for a granny square poncho. These squares measure 11 1/4 inch wide and 15 inches from corner to corner diagonally. The granny square poncho made from these squares would be suitable for a child with a 13.5 inch to 15 inch wide shoulder width, which would be anywhere from 9 to 13 years old depending on the child. I originally made this pattern using a number 4 medium weight red heart ombre yarn with a recommended hook size of 5.5 millimeters, which is slightly thicker than the solid colored number 4 medium weight red heart yarn that I used in this video, also with a recommended hook size of 5.5 millimeters. They can be substituted for one another, but if you are using a solid colored number 4 medium weight red heart yarn, you will need to slightly stretch the edges out as you go, which I will show in this video. To get started with this pattern, we are going to start with a magic circle. And if you need to see how to do this or anything else in this video, I will put links for those videos in the description box below. So off of our magic circle, we are going to start with a chain of 3, which counts as a double crochet. And then we are going to work 11 more double crochets around this magic circle for a total of 12 double crochets around the magic circle in total, again including that beginning chain 3. When you have 12 double crochets around your magic circle, we can then pull the tail and close that circle, and we are going to slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 3. And again, you should have 12 double crochets all the way around this round. For round 2, we're going to start with a chain of 3, which still counts as a double crochet, and we are going to double crochet into the same first stitch for 2 double crochets in this first stitch, then work 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into each stitch all the way around this round. So again, work 2 double crochets into the next stitch and into each stitch all the way around. When you have made it all the way around the second round, we will then slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 3 from the beginning of the round, and that is the end of round 2, and you should have 24 double crochets at this point. If you are using a solid color from Red Heart in number 4 medium weight yarn, you will notice that the work is trying to curl up just a little bit, and that will happen if you again are using a solid color from Red Heart, and you will just need to stretch this out a little bit as you go. For the third round, we are going to start with a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and we are going to double crochet into the next stitch. We will then chain 1 and double crochet into the next stitch, and repeat this all the way around, again by chaining 1 and double crocheting into the next stitch, and again repeat this all the way around, chain 1 and double crochet into the next stitch. When you have made it all the way around the third round and you have double crocheted into the last stitch, we will then chain 1 more and slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning 4. At the end of round 3, you should have 24 double crochets and 24 chain 1 spaces, and again, if you are using a solid color, you will most likely need to just stretch it out a little bit around the edge, therefore it will lay flat. For round 4, we are going to start off by slip stitching into the first chain 1 space. So just slip stitch on over there. And then we are going to start with a chain 2, which counts as a double crochet with the last loop on the hook. And then we're going to start another double crochet in the same space, leaving the last loop on the hook, and start one more double crochet, leaving the last loop on the hook, for 3 double crochets with the last loop on the hook, and bring them all together for 1 3 double crochet cluster. We are then going to chain 1 and work a 3 double crochet cluster in the next chain 1 space. So start 3 double crochets, leaving the last loop of each one on the hook, and then bring them all together for 1 3 double crochet cluster. Then chain 1 and work a 3 double crochet cluster around the next chain 1 space, and repeat this all the way around this round, again by chaining 1 and working a 3 double crochet cluster around the next chain 1 space. When you have worked a 3 double crochet cluster around the last chain 1 space, we will then chain 1 more and slip stitch into the top of the beginning 3 double crochet cluster, and you should have 24 3 double crochet clusters around this round and 24 chain 1 spaces. And again, if you are using a solid color, just stretch it out a little bit as you go. For round 5, we are going to start off with a chain of 2, which does not count as a stitch, and we are going to double crochet into the same first stitch, which is the first 3 double crochet cluster, and then we are going to work 2 double crochets around the next chain 1 space. So again, work 2 double crochets around that space, and then work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, which is the 3 double crochet cluster, and then again work 2 double crochets around the next chain 1 space, and repeat this all the way around by working 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 2 double crochets around the next chain 1 space, and repeat this all the way around. When you have made it all the way around the 5th round and you've worked 2 double crochets around the last chain 1 space, we will then slip stitch into the top of the beginning double crochet, and you should have 72 double crochets at the end of this round. For round 6, we are going to start with a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and we are going to double crochet into the same first stitch for 1 V-stitch. We're then going to skip a stitch and work a V-stitch into the next stitch by double crocheting into the stitch, chaining 1, and double crocheting into the same stitch, and we will do this all the way around. So again, skip a stitch and work a V-stitch into the next by double crocheting into the stitch, chaining 1, and double crocheting into the same stitch, and do this all the way around this round. When you have made it all the way around that round, round 6, you should end with a V-stitch in the second to last stitch with 1 stitch left to skip, and then we will slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the beginning 4 of the round, and you should have 36 V-stitches all the way around this round, which consists of 72 double crochets and 36 chain 1 spaces. On round 7, we are going to start squaring off our granny square. So we are going to start off by slip stitching into this first chain 1 space, and we're going to start with a 3 double crochet cluster. So we are going to start with the chain 2, which counts as a double crochet with the last loop on the hook, and start 2 more double crochets, leaving the last loop on the hook. Then bring them all together again for 1 3 double crochet cluster. We are then going to chain 4 and work another 3 double crochet cluster around this same chain 1 space. So again, start 3 double crochets, leaving the last loop of each stitch on the hook, then bring them all together for 1 3 double crochet cluster, and we should have 2 3 double crochet clusters with a chain 4 in the middle, all around this same chain 1 space. That was our first corner, so we are now going to chain 3 and skip a chain 1 space and single crochet around the next chain 1 space. We are then going to chain 2 and single crochet around the next chain 1 space, and repeat this 4 more times, again by chaining 2 and single crocheting around the next chain 1 space. And now repeat that 3 more times. When you have worked that 3 more times, you should have 6 single crochets on this round so far after the corner. And at this point, we are now going to work the same thing for the corner. So we are going to chain 3 and skip a chain 1 space and work a 3 double crochet cluster around the next chain 1 space. So start 3 double crochets, leaving the last loop of each on the hook, and bring them all together. And again, this is the corner, so we will now chain 4 and work 1 more 3 double crochet cluster around the same chain 1 space. Again, work a 3 double crochet cluster, and then we are going to go on to repeat the same thing for the next side that we just did by chaining 3, skipping a chain 1 space and single crocheting around the next, then chaining 2 and single crocheting around the next chain 1 space, and repeating that 4 more times. Therefore you will have 6 single crochets on that side, then chain 3, skip a chain 1 space, work a 3 double crochet cluster around the next chain 1 space, chain 4, and work a 3 double crochet cluster around the same chain 1 space. When you have worked the 4th corner, we will then work the last side the same way we have worked the other sides by chaining 3, skipping a chain 1 space, and single crocheting around the next chain 1 space, then chaining 2 and single crocheting around the next chain 1 space, and repeating that 4 times until you have 6 single crochets for this side. And when you have those 6 single crochets, we are going to chain 3 and skip the last chain 1 space and slip stitch into the top of the beginning 3 double crochet cluster of this round. And at the end of this round, round 7, you should have 8 3 double crochet clusters, 4 chain 4 spaces, 8 chain 3 spaces, 20 chain 2 spaces, and 24 single crochets. For round 8, we are going to slip stitch into this first chain 4 space to start off the round, and we are going to start with the chain of 3, which does count as a double crochet, and we are going to work 3 more double crochets around this same chain 4 space. So again, you should have 3 more double crochets around this same chain 4 space for 4 double crochets on this round so far. We are then going to chain 3 and work 4 more double crochets around the same chain 4 space. When you have those 4 double crochets around the same chain 4 space, we are then going to go on to work 4 double crochets around the next chain 3 space. So again, work 4 double crochets all around this same space, and then we are going to work 3 half double crochets around the next chain 2 space. So again, these are half double crochets now, and we are working 3 of them around this chain 2 space, and then we are going to work 3 single crochets around the next 3 chain 2 spaces. So we should have 9 single crochets by working 3 single crochets in the next 3 chain 2 spaces. When you have those 9 single crochets, we will then work 3 half double crochets around the next chain 2 space, mirroring the other side, and then we are at the chain 3 space, so we are going to work 4 double crochets around this chain 3 space, again just like we did on the other side. And now we are at the corner, where we will work 4 double crochets around the chain 4 space, again 4 double crochets, then chain 3, and work 4 more double crochets all around the same chain 4 space. When you have worked that corner, we will then go on to repeat this all the way around by working 4 double crochets around the next chain 3 space, 3 half double crochets around the next chain 2 space, 3 single crochets around the next 3 chain 2 spaces, 3 half double crochets around the next chain 2 space, 4 double crochets around the next chain 3 space, and for the corner we will work 4 double crochets, a chain 3, and 4 double crochets all around the same chain 4 space for the corner. And again, you will want to repeat this all the way around until you have worked 4 double crochets around the last chain 3 space of the round. When you have made it all the way around 8, and you have worked 4 double crochets around the last chain 3 space, we will then slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the beginning 3 from the beginning of this round. And again, this was round 8, and at the end of this round you should have 64 double crochets, 24 half double crochets, and 36 single crochets. Again, if you are using a solid color red heart yarn, you will want to stretch it out just a little bit at the corners to make it lay correctly, but it should be holding its square shape at this point. For round 9, we are going to start with a chain of 2, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to work a double crochet into the same first stitch, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until you come to the chain 3 space for the corner. And when you come to the chain 3 space for the corner, you will work 2 double crochets around the chain 3 space, then chain 2, and work 2 more double crochets around the same chain 3 space. We will then go on to work 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way across the next side of this square until you come to the next chain 3 space for the next corner. So again, work 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way across this side until you come to the next chain 3 space for the corner. When you come to the next chain 3 space for the next corner, we will do the same thing as the first corner by working 2 double crochets around the chain 3 space, then chain 2, and work 2 more double crochets around the same chain 3 space. And we will go on to repeat this all the way around this round until you get back to where we started. When you have made it all the way around round 9 and double crocheted into the last double crochet of the round, we will then slip stitch into the top of the beginning double crochet, and again that was round 9, and at the end of this round you should have 140 double crochets and 4 chain 2 spaces. For round 10, we are going to start with a chain of 2, which does not count as a stitch, and we are going to double crochet into the same first stitch, and then we are going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch until we come to the first chain 2 space for the corner. When you come to the chain 2 space for the corner, we are going to work 4 double crochets around this chain 2 space. Again, work 4 double crochets around this space, and then we will work 1 double crochet into the next stitch and into each stitch all the way across the next side of the square until you come to the next chain 2 space, where you will again work 4 double crochets around this chain 2 space for the corner, and repeat this all the way around this round. When you have made it all the way around the 10th round and have double crocheted into the last double crochet of the round, we will then slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet of the round, and again that was the end of round 10, and you should have 156 stitches all the way around this round, with 4 double crochets around each corner and 1 double crochet in each stitch in between each corner. Also, if your square is trying to lay weirdly at this point, you can just tug on the corners a little bit on each corner and it should make your square lay out correctly. For the next round, round 11, it is going to be our last round, and we are going to start with a chain of 2, which does not count as a stitch, and we are going to double crochet into the same first stitch, and then we are going to double crochet 1 time in the next 5 stitches. So again, double crochet 1 time in the next 5 stitches, and then you will have 6 double crochets for this round so far, and you will also be at the 4 double crochets that are around the chain 2 space from the previous round. In each of these stitches we are going to work 2 double crochets. So in the next 4 stitches, the 4 double crochets around the chain 2 space from the previous row, we will work 2 double crochets in each of those stitches. When you have 2 double crochets in each of those 4 double crochets for the corner, we will then go on to work 1 double crochet in the next 35 stitches. Again, work 1 double crochet in the next 35 stitches until you come to the next 4 stitches around the chain 2 from the previous round. When you have worked 1 double crochet in those 35 stitches and you are back at the 4 double crochets for the corner, we will then work 2 double crochets in each of these 4 stitches to round this second corner. So again, work 2 double crochets in each of these 4 stitches, and then we will go on to repeat the same thing of working 1 double crochet in the next 35 stitches and 2 double crochets in the 4 stitches for the corner, and go on to repeat this until you have finished the last corner. When you have worked the 2 double crochets in the last 4 stitches for the last corner, we will then go on to work 1 double crochet in the last 29 stitches of this round, and then we will slip stitch into the top of the beginning double crochet. And at the end of round 11, you should have 168 double crochets. You will now want to go on to make 6 of these squares all together for the body and the hood of the poncho. And when you have all 6 squares made, you will assemble them as you would any other hooded granny square poncho. And if you do not know how to assemble and finish off a hooded granny square poncho, I will put a link for a video on how to do that in the description box below. And that's all there is to it. I hope that this was enjoyable and helpful for you. If it was, please hit that sub, like, and bell button, and leave me a comment to tell me what you think. I hope you go on to create many more amazing things, and until next time guys, I'll see ya.